This is the case study which I'm going to explain you as part of architecture learning, because being an architect, when we work towards solutions for any enterprises, of course we have different architect roles like application architect, systems architect, data architect, all that. In this regards, as part of learning architecture for different roles, it's always important for us to understand some scenario based learning, because whenever we are transforming our careers towards architectural roles, it's always important for us to understand about the architecture learning. So scenario based learning is more important in this regard. So today I'm going to explain you about a case study. This case study is something focused towards one of the retail chain, right? So because client details was mentioned over here, as the client is majorly into largest supermarket chain with over 100 years of experience in food retail industry for a very long time. At the same time, they even uh, producing fresh products, right? So from the customers from 2,700, more than that, farmers across different places and all that. And whatever the kind of services they are providing, these services they are providing for more than in more than 500 locations across different places. So this is what generally the client is all about. Now, client wants some kind of solution-driven data architectural development, especially. This is what something which client is expecting. So, being an architect, especially from the data architect role point of view, it's always important for us to understand to provide solution from the data perspective. So, solution architect, data perspective. This is what something we are learning today. So, when we are being a architect, when we are trying to understand about the complex scenarios while we are attending for an interview. So there are different scenario questions which you come across, you need to answer in this regard. So this case study might be helpful to an extent possible to the people who are learning. So in brief, this is what generally the client details were all about. Now, these are the goals which client wants to achieve in, because these are the 5 goals. Because being a data architect, it's always important for us to understand the goal, vision, objectives of the customer, what they wants to achieve. In this process, we need to understand 5 different goals. There are 5 goals were mentioned. You can see that. So one of the goal is to elevate customer experience by creating some better shopping experience for customers. This is one of the prime important goal customer wants to achieve through the solution what they're expecting. Okay. Second, loading to the Google Cloud, whatever the transitioning they wants to perform, transition to the Google Cloud, and as well as leveraging to enhance reporting capabilities. This is what something which they were looking in near times. Next, accessing the real-time data, wherein shifting from batch processing to the real-time data access, so that this result in enabling faster decision making and improving operational efficiency. This is one of the goal which customer wants to achieve. Along with this, they wants to enhance picking efficiency, because they wants to streamline the online picking process from different farmers, because as in when in the beginning I told you, so picking processes by improving the stock visibility, right? So that they shouldn't see, they make sure there shouldn't be any kind of shortage of goods available, right? So visibility across depots and warehouses is improving the picking efficiency from the farmers, to process these into the supermarkets so that there shouldn't be any kind of shortage in terms of the goods. This is one of the goal they were looking for. Last but not least, improving on-shelf availability, because customer wants to ensure products are consistently in stock and accessible to the customer, so that make sure there shouldn't be any kind of shortage of goods. So these are the 5 goals which customer wants to achieve. So being a data architect, when we are trying to understand the solution, what kind of solution to be provided. So before we are getting into that, it's always important for us to understand about the customer's business situation and scenario. I'm talking about industry, how long they were in this, right? So who are their customers, what kind of services they are providing. So what kind of data flow process they follow, right? So everything we must be knowing. Followed by this, we must be knowing about what are the different goals they have, etc. All that. Now, being into data architect role, it's always important for us to understand 3 different things. One, what they wants to, because in the goal itself, I was mentioned it. Again, I'm repeating one more time. So they wants to modernize their data infrastructure. Assume that there was already a data infrastructure. Remember, being a data architect, we need to understand that there is a data infrastructure which was already existed. Now they wants to modernize the data infrastructure so that it can support real-time insights and as well as operational efficiency. This is what something which customer wants to achieve in. So being a data architect, this is the first and foremost thing you need to see. In what way real-time insights as well as operational efficiency can be implemented. So what kind of cloud infrastructure or cloud data flow process that is required for you to implement. So that sort of understanding is required. So end of the day, you need to understand where you need to provide a solution that must be reachable in such a way where customer wants to see some real-time insights, because about the stock position, right? So which stock is moving faster, which stock is moving slower, right? So sales, they wants to know about the sales, they wants to know about sales and stock position so that they can streamline their supply chain process. They get products from the manufacturers and as well as farmers, etc. This is something through the so that operational efficiency will also be increased further. This is what something which they wants to achieve in. So the next one about by implementing means what kind of implementation, because when being into a data architect role, it's always important for us to understand uh, what are their expectation in context to the implementation, because customers have some implementation expectation they have. So as far as implementation, as far as the expectation from the customer point of view, they want to implement some advanced data integration capabilities. At the same time, they want to transition to a more agile and data-driven approach, because agile process implementation is something which they want to implement so that whatever the changes, dynamic changes, they want to make it between can be done at any point in time. Next, it must be a data-driven approach. Data-driven approach where whatever the decisions are we taking, whatever the business process or standards that we are following, everything is through the data-driven process itself. This is where generally the implementation come into existence. Now, being a data architect, we need to understand what are the results the customer is expecting. This is something which one must be knowing with. So result expectation of 3. One is about they wants to optimize the process, whatever the existing business process. Do remember repeating the same. Customer has already a data infrastructure which they were using for a very long time. Now they wants to optimize the process, which must be result in enhancing the decision making, because decision making, taking the right time and right decisions to be taken and how this can be implemented leads to success of the business. So enhancing the decision making is also one of the result the customer is expecting. Next, last but not least, they wants to improve the overall customer experiences across stores and online platform. So when customer will be happy, right? So when customer experience will be happier because whatever the products they want, if it is available online or on store, so customer will be happy. Okay. So whatever the kind of discounts you are going to announce, those are all some other promotional activities we do. That is anyway, it's an add-on. But end of the day, improving overall customer experience, like whatever the product customer is expecting, if it is available on store, customer can take it, right? So this is where the results which customer is expecting. So being a data architect, when you are going to provide any solution, right? So what kind of solution you are going to provide, all that. So we need to understand about the customer, followed by the kind of goals which they wants to achieve, what they wants to achieve, what are the goals, what they wants to achieve, what is that they want us to someone to implement that, and what final result they are expecting. So by keeping all this in mind, we need to come up with solution. What kind of solution you are going to provide is something which we need to know. So about the solution, how this can be and what solution was identified by us and how this solution can be implemented being a data architect. So this part I'm going to discuss in the next session. Okay. I hope this video might be helpful to you. So when you are looking for any transformation or career change towards architectural side, I hope this is something useful to you. Okay. See you. Bye.